Hey guys, my name's Maggie and this is my channel. Welcome if you're here for the first time, and if not, welcome back. Some of this, and maybe even some of this, it does fit. My hand does go through. And today we have something exciting. This is going to be my very first knitting podcast, and I'm really excited to try this and kind of see how that goes. We're going to do it in the traditional format this time. We're going to talk about finished objects, or FOs, and then we're going to talk about my works in progress, or WIPs, and then we're going to move into acquisitions, and I might talk a little bit about some outside of knitting projects as well. This is actually being filmed after another video you guys will get to see that's going to be a really big haul, but I just kind of wanted to start with this video simply because I've taken a little bit more time with the setup and everything, but I still want to be able to show you my acquisitions. So let's start first and foremost with my finished objects. I have these, my very first pair of socks. There is, I believe she pronounces it, it's Kristen Layer, something. Sorry, Kristen, if I'm completely butchering that, but she has a YouTube tutorial that's like a step-by-step on how to knit socks with a heel flap and gusset, and she also has a pattern to go along with it, so she's who I decided to follow. So you can see here, I did try them on. I have not blocked them yet. I ended up, they are the height that I wanted and the length that I wanted, but I'm knitting them on 9-inch circular needles, and getting my cast on to reach all the way around was a little bit hard in the size that I wanted. So I figured to make it easier to get used to the 9-inch circulars, I was going to do the largest size. And originally I was going to keep these, but I've actually decided to give these. So these are actually my second socks. So you can see it's got the normal toe decreases here. I've got my heel flap and gusset here, which was really fun to learn how to do. And yeah, I'm pretty proud of them. I did twisted rib here, and my grandma is 90, and she has a lot of circulatory issues, and she gets a lot of swelling in her feet throughout the day. But prior to her getting swelling, me and her had the same size foot, so I thought these would be great for her. This is my first pair. You could see had a little bit of issue learning how to do the Kitchener stitch there. I slipped a stitch, I think is what happened. There you can see my toe increases, my heel flap and gusset did pretty good this time. I do have a slight kind of a holy thing here. I'm sort of hoping, let's see if I can show you, it's just a little bit less than perfect looking right here. I'm hoping that I can correct that with blocking, but I didn't have sock blockers, and I've also been just kind of trying to finish up some other projects as well before I wanted to do the whole get out the basins and the bowls and fill them up with water and get my wool wash out. I figured it might be easier to just get a whole batch of blocking going at once. So that's my very first finished object since starting back up knitting. So immediately after finishing those socks, I cast on this pair. You can see I used the same Malabrigo yarn for the stripes and the heel and the toe here. but this yarn here is actually Woolen Vine Yarns, and it's run by Kristen, or Kristen is the dyer of Woolen Vine Yarns. It's her indie brand. So I really wanted to make my first pair of socks for me out of yarn from her. She had this is called fairy hair, and apparently there was like a little bit of a misdye. It's not supposed to have these super bright blue patches of yarn here, but I think it's really pretty. I'm excited. This is actually, I went from the size large down to the size small. So those first pair of socks were 72 stitches. These are 56 stitches. I did a longer ribbing at the top, which I'm not always a fan of, but I thought with the two little stripes like this. And then I did a longer heel flap, I think this time, because I do have like a fairly tall heel. The only thing is, I don't know why this is, I think when I threaded the yarn back in through this spot, it's creating like this point here. You can't really see when you're wearing it. I'm hoping it'll walk out. That's really the only mistake here. You can see I got so much better with my gusset stitches. There's no holes here. So I'm really pleased with how these turned out. These fit my foot so well. I'm excited to block them, and I finally got some sock blockers for this. I didn't think I was going to get sock blockers, but I found some really cheap ones on Amazon, and we're just going to try them out and see what happens. So my third and final finish object is this. I made a little balaclava, or a hood. It was originally supposed to have a panel here like this, and then you would knit the stitches around. I wanted to do like the little pixie back, so I just took my knowledge from stock knitting and Kitchenered this together. It's got some really pretty 1x1 rib at the bottom. It's very stretchy. It's a mix of a 100% superwash merino and a Surrey alpaca hand-dyed yarn from Bad Sheep Yarns. So there was a pattern that I was following, but I did end up making some modifications. Like, instead of going straight from the ribbing to the second color, this one was supposed to have two colors. I only did one. I did some rounds of stockinette here. Let's see if I could show you. Hopefully I'm holding it in the right spot. And then it was just supposed to have a 1x1 rib around the front here, but I kind of wanted it to be extra thick and cozy. So I did, let's see if I can scooch and make sure you guys can see. I did a fold over band. So I picked up the stitches, did the 1x1 rib, did a row of purling, did stockinette for the backs, and then where the edge was that I had picked up all those stitches, I actually did a cast off where you connect the band, like the bottom edge, the free edge with the cast on edge, I guess, if you would call that, for picking up stitches. So I don't know if I'm explaining that right, but I did follow like a YouTube tutorial for that. So I'm pretty proud of how that turned out. It does fit really well. I am hoping it will grow some with blocking to be a little bit looser. It is a teeny bit snug compared to what I wanted. I'd also started out with a 10 to 12, like the tween size instead of the adult size, and then ended up deciding I wanted this part to be a little bit more oversized than what it was going to be. So I did a set of increases in the back. I'm stretching it out so you can kind of see that. Hopefully see the little holes in there. But yeah, I really love that. This is super, super soft. It's much, the Surrey alpaca is much softer than the other Surrey alpaca that I had purchased. I got some drops, like alpaca silk, I think it's called. And that one feels kind of stretchy or scratchy in comparison. This really feels like kid silk mohair, but that I have. but not going to make me itch and sneeze. So those are my 3 finished objects. We'll go ahead to my whips and start with the oldest whip. You will be able to tell from my last video where I just kind of had all my whips just like hanging out in a laundry basket that I have gotten a lot more organized now. I'm using, you can see my batting set here, I'm actually using the bag that it came in as my project bag. I really like to just save these little kinds of things as to reuse. So let's get her all out here. Okay, where are we at? I have this needle saved because I have to put on the next sleeve. But okay. So this is where we're at. I finished the bottom last night. And I'm super excited about that, as well as finished the sleeve. You will see the sleeve is like the tiniest little sleeve. I made like a balloon style sleeve rather than following the pattern directions. I just cast on as many stitches as I thought made sense for the armhole that I was getting, and then did some rapid decreases right here to kind of cinch it in, and then did a few like spaced out increases, and then did some really rapid decreases here. It does fit. My hand does go through. Oh, it got caught on my ring, but it does go through and it fits. I have teeny tiny wrists. Like, I think most people have like a 7-inch bracelet. Like, I tend to wear like 5-inch bracelets. Like, you can see how loose this is and how tight I have it. So a lot of bracelets are like really, really big on me. That's okay. I just really wanted it. I can still pull it up like to wash dishes and stuff like that. So I still have to weave in all the ends, do that, block it. I'm thinking it'll probably grow a little bit with blocking and have some better ease, but I'm really pleased with my sleeve here and with the body and with my twisted rib. And for the twist, this I did a super stretchy bind off for this. This one is plenty oversized enough and it's got like enough stretch, so I just did a regular cast off. And then now we just have one more sleeve. I've still kind of got it hanging out here. And that's really it. I can actually put, so this is, I did a magic loop for the ribbing on this, and then this was also the needle that I had the ribbing on here as well. And then I'm leaving these in until I do the other sleeve, so that way I can kind of count and try and match up as best as I can where my increases were in this one on the other side, since I kind of went rogue and off pattern. But that's been the great thing about working on so many projects, is I've learned a lot of skills that are really allowing me to, like, this is my first one and I'm not even finished, and I'm already learning how to modify to what I want it to be. I still have this ball that's got its band on it, and then this is also a completely full ball, and then this is the remainder from the bottom band and the sleeve that I spit spliced together and wound up into one ball. So this is what I'm going to use up first, but I know this is not enough yarn to finish a full sleeve, so then I'll be getting into the next one. But I'll probably have about a ball and a half or so left. Once all is said and done with this project, whoops, I forgot to put the sweater back in. So there's that. Sorry if I'm not looking directly at you guys the entire time. I'm still kind of getting used to looking at the right spot on my phone camera. Let's see. I got these off of Temu. I hate Temu. I don't like ordering for Temu. Temu had one particular sweater that I really, really wanted, and they were doing such a good deal that I basically got these for free. But this is the yarn to continue my sock in this one, and I have this cute little stitch marker. That's a little mushroom guy in here with it. And I'm actually going to, now that we're done talking about finished objects, I'm going to put this sock back in here because I'm going to use this sock as a guide to make sure that they match. That's why it's not been blocked yet. So this is my other whip. I just cast this on a couple days ago. It is going to be, I think it's the underwing moth mitts. And it's a color work fingerless mitten. Make sure it's not falling off. It's all tangled right now. Oh, please. So when I have like this tail left and it's kind of hanging out and getting in the way, I like to kind of loop it in on itself and then just tie a very loose little knot just to kind of keep it out of the way. So there's that. So I just got finished with the ribbing and it is now time to add in my second color for my collar work. I am holding, originally I was going to hold the color Elvish, which is like a very blue color. This one's more of like a purpley, gray, blue, green color. This one is called Nevermore by Bad Sheep Yarns. And I'm holding it, I wanted it to be even slightly darker, so I'm holding it with a black Kid Silk mohair. It is just bringing it down just a little bit, and it is creating a halo. The pattern calls for fingering, and then this one's labeled as a light fingering, maybe, because it's a sock yarn. So I'm not really too concerned about this. This Heart to Garden silk mohair is very, very fine. So I really don't think it's going to throw off my gauge too much to have this one be mohair, this one not be mohair. So this is the color Feather. It looks mostly white, but there is like touches of like mauve and gray throughout this. So it is a variegated as well. And yeah, that's what I'm doing with that. If anybody has a recommendation for needle stoppers for size like 1 needles, I would love to hear that in the comments, because all of the like needle stoppers that I have, I think start at like size 3 or 4. And you can see I have another one of those little mushroom house stitch markers. Let's see if you can see. Hopefully you can see that okay. And yeah, that's my only other whip right now. That's why I have not started on my second sock. I'm actually thinking about getting a second 9-inch circular needle in order to be able to have this going and still finish that sock. But I'm wanting to do colorwork mittens because there's other colorwork projects that I wanted to do. And I'm also wanting these mittens. So today is, it's the 9th. I was thinking the 10th, so I was close. So today is November 10th, or 9th, sorry. Today is November 9th, and I am going in exactly a month from now on a trip. It's actually going to be my first adult vacation with no kids since I've had kids. Except for we ended up staying 2 nights, I think, when I was pregnant with Quinn. And Quinn's turning 3 in January. And that was like in June before that. So it's been a really long time since me and my husband have had any time together. We're actually meeting up with some friends of his and we're staying in a cabin. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm not, for the sake of privacy, going to put up too many details about where we're going, how long, all of that good stuff. But it's sometime in December. So I want to have these done. And I also, that was the reason why I was trying to finish this, is because I wanted this for that trip, because I'm a Florida girly, and I also have EDS and POTS, and so I'm just really, really terrible at regulating my own body temperature, so I want to have lots of warm and cozy things to help keep me warm. And that's also why I want that sock finish. So big plans. I have another sweater that I want to make. I am debating between, there's like, it was like a reddish brown color that I bought that I thought almost looked like the cool version of Rust, but it ended up coming up in a little bit more pinky mauve than I would have liked. I thought it was going to be about this color, and it's not. It's a little bit more faded and pinky than that. That's okay. But I have a cardigan that I want to make with that. I've ordered the buttons for it that I would like to have for my trip. Or there is, I want to make a Felix pullover. I think that's what it's called. Yeah. It's the raglan with the pretty little like lace eyelet details. And so that I have in like a really pretty green color that I'm also thinking about making, because that was what I was thinking would be my Christmassy sweater, because it's a very like bottle green. Like if you think of like the green that is like a wine bottle or a beer bottle, that's the color that it is. And I plan on holding it with black drops alpaca silk. But I'm debating between those two, which I want to make first. I'm trying to decide which one would be warmer. And like I have plenty of thrifted sweaters, and I'm going to be bringing this one that I'm finishing with my Novice sweater as well. So I've got plenty of sweater options to bring, but I just think it'd be really cool to be able to like show off my skills and knitting, or lack thereof. I don't know. Anyways, that is it for whips. That is it for upcoming plans as far as I know. I do have some Christmas knits that I want to make, but I don't really know how much time I'm going to have this month for knitting as much as I would like. So we'll see. I've decided to kind of focus on my like immediate family for knitting, and then maybe some gift knits for like my baby nephew and his brother, and the rest we'll figure out later. Now we can kind of go into acquisitions, and we'll start out with, there's more of those little mushroom houses. I forget where these are from. I have the paper right here. So I'm trying to show them all. Cooperate. I saved the package just for this. So these are Sunshine Grove Knittery. This is their Shroom Hamlet stitch markers. They came in on this really cute little card. So that's these. I got these from Paper Crane Yarns. And then I also have, want to attempt cabling. So I went to a yarn store in Largo and I got a set of cable needles here because I wanted metal ones, not plastic ones, and a lot of the ones I was seeing were plastic ones, and I don't like buying things out of plastic. So there's a set, there's the hook one, there's this smaller one, and then this huge one. And it also came with like a, oh, it's down here. It fell down in the back of this. It came with one of these little like stitch fixer things, which I've already used this multiple times. I tried to try on my sock, the smaller one, my most recent sock, and it popped off the tri-hit tubing and it laddered back quite a bit through the gusset stitches. So not only did I have to figure out how to like crochet and weave that back up, but I also had to be mindful of like where the gusset decreases were, which I did, and it worked. And you saw the sock, you can't tell where it was, so go me on that. So there's those. I can toss this now, but we'll figure that out later. So there was that. And then I also got this little guy. Let's see, I gotta take it off, I think. It's this little leather bracelet, which I've worn a ton and I accidentally wore in the shower. And so some of the gold is already wearing off of this, but that's okay. But it has these, it was a set of 5. It has these little like tiny pearl stitch markers, which I'm obsessed with. Love them. And then it's also got a progress keeper, a little sheepy on it. And there is one of those little pearly guys is on this one right now. So I'm missing one. But those have been amazing for knitting up my socks. Those little tiny stitch markers. This has been so helpful. So there's that. I also, these bag sets that I got from Temu, I had these before. So I'm just repurposing stuff I already purchased. But I'm using this for my set of crochet hooks. As well as I'm keeping these little needle cases. These are my regular sharps. These are my darning needles. So yeah, so these are my darning needles. These are my regular sharps that I have. I just wanted the little cases more so than anything. So I found these on Amazon for like a really good deal. I will link them in the bottom below. If you've been looking for little needle cases, I can't recommend these enough. I am an Amazon affiliate, so just FYI, if you buy those, I'll get like half a penny. No joke. So I've been an Amazon affiliate for like 2, 3 years, probably since before Quinn was born, so almost 3 years. And I think I've made like $5, which you have to have like, you have to have made $10 to even be able to like cash out. So, but it is kind of nice to know that if I'm finding a product, recommending it, you wanted enough to buy it from Amazon, that I eventually will get enough to buy a Starbucks. So there's that. This is also an acquisition that I got. I'm a part of like one of those like crystal subscription things. I like crystals. They're fun. I also got these from Paper Crane Yarn. These are Comma Craft little, what do you call it? Needle stoppers. Words, Margaret. But they're so cute. They're green little mushrooms with balls of yarn next to them. And I love mushrooms, and I just thought that was so cute. I've seen the little like red mushroom ones, which I think actually Comicraft even makes those, but I just thought that was super cute. So I also got some yarn. I have been buying so much fingering weight that I got a DK base. So this is the Shire. It's their DK weight yarn. It's very like greens and golds and yellow. It kind of reminds me of like the outfit, like something that like Bilbo would wear. And just that scene where Frodo's like talking to Gandalf and like all the golden light, and there's the trees and everything, and I don't know. It's giving Hobbiton vibes. And then one of my other like favorite fall shows, I actually own it like as like an Amazon digital download, is Over the Garden Wall. And one of their most famous like quintessential like autumnal episodes is the Pottsfield one, which is all the little like pumpkin headed things. And so she had a Pottsfield sock set, which I'm very excited about. I think it's super cute. It's this really pretty orange, yellow, mustard with some bits of like pumpkin, and then it's got speckles of like blues and greens, and then just a matching green as well to that, which I did not realize when I purchased these how much these really matched each other. But I found her because I was seeing a lot of people talking about Rhinebeck, and I've been really wanting to go on a trip by myself, and I was considering going to Rhinebeck by myself, but with all the hurricane stuff that we've been having, that was never going to work. So back like end of September, I was watching some videos from like 2023 Rhinebecks, and I found Ashley's YouTube channel because of that. And then I saw she had Vlogtober going on. I think by the time I watched her video, it was already in October because I missed like the first 10-ish days of her Vlogtober. And I thought, so I started watching her because of that, and actually ended up purchasing this because of that. So I got these from her. I got the little stitch or the needle stoppers because of her, and then the little mushroom house stitch markers. And I also got a sticker, and you can see she made me this little crane back here. I don't know if you can see that fully, but I have it sitting there up there on my mirror. And I also got a little moth sticker. I'll try and post like a little picture of the sticker because I have it like in a drawer and I forgot to get that. And then other hand-dyed yarn. In the video that you have not seen yet, but you will see, I talk about the underwing mitts that I was making with little moths. There's a part where you do a duplicate stitch and you add in some red or some other color to create the little detail that is the underwing of the underwing moth. It's what they're named for. So I got this color Sam. It's another Lord of the Rings yarn. Shocker. I'm sensing a trend here. But I got this, and obviously I need like 2 yards, I think it says, for the knits. So this is 462 yards. But I also have these really cute like chunky penny loafers that I got off of ThreadUp, and I really want to hand knit myself some red socks because I've been seeing the whole like it girlies with their black chunky loafers and their red socks. And I'm like, I want that for myself, but like, how cool would it be if it was socks that I made? So there's like this, I'm trying to decide if I want to do vanilla socks for these, or there is a free lacy pattern that I might make. Or I do have the pattern for Florence, made by Florence's Petal Drop socks. But I already want to make the feather yarn that I showed you that's also in these mitts in that pattern. So undecided. Maybe I want to do like a ribbed sock. I just know I want to make socks of these. We'll figure it out when we get there. And then I also have this. I just got a mini skein of poison. Whoop! I also got a mini skein of poison sock yarn because I want to do like some fun little color work, like pumpkins and bats on a sock with this maybe. I just think it's really cute and pretty, just for fun Halloween socks in the future. She was retiring that yarn. I don't know if it's like permanent or just for the season. So I wanted to get that while I could, because like it's black and orange and red and purple. Like you can't get much more Halloweeny than this. Ooh, and some like hot pink, just little bits here and there. Obsessed. And then I didn't really want to get like a full skein of this, even though I really do love it. This is Witch King from Bad Sheep Yarns as well. It did have a tag. My 2-year-old, the second I pulled it out of the box, he was like, yank. I was like, thank you. I wanted to keep that on there, but it's fine. So I got this for something. There is a particular like stripy sock that you can do where it's got like chunks of stripes throughout, and I thought it might be really fun to do if I had any like leftovers from this and some of this and then maybe even some of this, like, you know, all of my like fandom, I guess you could call it, sock yarns into like a fandom sock, or like a Lord of the Rings sock, even though this one is technically not Lord of the Rings. Anyways, I digress. I also realized we did not have a single, it was Halloween, and we did not have a single solitary safety pin. So I just got a pack of safety pins from Amazon. I'm also wanting to get back into sewing again. I have pins, I have needles, I have a sewing machine, I have all that. But I needed like some pattern marking chalk. So that's what this is. It's just little tailor's chalk. It's those little like, it's taped, but you can kind of see here what it is. So it's just little pieces of chalk that are like this to be able to write around the edges and stuff. It's supposed to be easier to use in this triangle form. There's this girl I follow on YouTube that uses that kind of chalk. I was like, hey, we'll check it out. And then the real reason why I placed the order was actually because of these guys. And they came in this box. I will link these below as well. So they came in a set of 3. One of the pairs is like these guys. You're supposed to like sew them closed or something. They're supposed to be like, you could do this and make them taller, make them shorter, like adjustable. These were not done precisely enough to be able to do that. I don't really care though. This is like a size large sock anyways. Like, I had my grandma socks on these, and you can see like it doesn't really need to be any bigger than this. So I'm honestly just going to thread this together using these little holes here and just leave it like that and never worry about the adjustability of it. Anyways, I already kind of knew that going into this. This was 3 sets of wooden sock blockers, and I think they were like $6 or $7 total. So even less one pair, like one of these was more expensive. Even just the cheap regular like Knitters Pro, whatever they are, blue plastic ones. You know the ones that I'm talking about. I saw them on Amazon. Those were like $16.99. And then I see like Queens & Co. has some wooden ones similar to these. Those are like $20, I think, something like that. But yeah, so it comes with these. And then it also came with these with the cute little fall leaves, very autumnal, very mindful, very demure. So yeah, I'm excited to be able to block my socks now. So that's it for acquisitions. We also have we've been homeschooling. They've been doing Florida virtual school. I kind of sit, at least with my second grader, and work through school with him. So I tend to knit a lot for my sanity because he's me in child form. I've also been listening to audiobooks a lot. On our way back from our Georgia trip, we were tired of like music and podcasts and all that stuff. So my husband had like a free little clip of Sarah J. Maas's like A Court of Thorn and Roses. Yes, Aquatar, that one. And it was like the full cast dramatized version. I finally decided I wanted to listen to the rest of it. So I downloaded it. I've been listening to it. I hope you can't hear my kids screaming at each other right now too much, but it's okay. It's fine. We're fine. So I've been listening to that. I am on, I think it's like the fourth one. It's like the wintry one where they're getting ready for solstice, and it's like the little short book. I can't remember the name of it right now. It's like a throne of glass and star. I don't know. Anyways, doesn't matter. It's cute. It's like a little wintry tale version. I'm doing that. I've never been an audiobook girly, but I'm kind of turning into an audiobook girly. So that's what I've been doing right now. I've been trying to sort of just get my yard cleaned up after all the hurricanes and everything, and I really need to figure out if there's anything I want to grow this winter, because I have carrots that I could grow, and it's time to plant those because it's like November. I have lettuces that I want to grow again. Plenty of things that I could grow. I just actually need to, I have one of those like planter towers, green stalks. I have one of those and I have the soil for it. I just need to like set it up. But by the time that was like a thing, I need to harvest some sweet potatoes. I was like, that's probably what I'm gonna do tomorrow. Maybe I'll film a vlog of like just getting my life together after we finish this over this weekend, and that'll like motivate me. I'll just like vlog me cleaning in my house because I have like laundry to do, cleaning to do out there. I cleaned my room. This is the cleanest room in the house right now. Like I've gotten rid of all the clutter and everything. I need to clean up out there. I have pictures that I want to hang up. That might be fun to vlog for. And then maybe tomorrow, since it's already like later in the morning, I might want to do that. So that's really it. If you liked this, please subscribe. Please like this video. It's really going to help the algorithm. I'm planning on doing one of these podcasts like once a month-ish. I think that's like an attainable goal for me with like some other little things sprinkled throughout. But I have 3 kids. Like I work from home. I homeschool. I don't have like hours and hours and hours in the week to knit. So weekly knitting podcasts or even like bi-weekly, I just don't know that I will have enough to really fill up that space. Don't forget to check me out in the next one. we will be doing that probably beginning of December. I'll probably try to film that before I go on my trip, and you'll get to see if I manage to get everything done that I need to get done. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!